right, so we're live. You are allowed to use a calculator on the entire test tomorrow. Guys, this test is 80 points. It's a big one. Okay, we've been working on this for weeks and weeks. It's a big one. So just so you know, when you add up the points, it's out of 66. So I take your score out of 66. So let's say you got 63. Come on. Let me show you how this works, because you're going to see like weird scores in the grade book when I grade them, and I want to show you how this works, okay? Let's say you missed 3 points and you got a 63 out of 66. That gives you a 95.45%. I then take that and I multiply it by 80, and then I always round up, so you would get a 76.4 out of 80. So that's how you get. So then, if you take 76.4 and divide by 80, it should be something at 95.45 or higher. See, 95.5. So it rounded up. Does that make sense to you guys? How I achieve those scores? That's weird score. Okay. What's that? Nothing. All right. Any other questions on that? All right, so again, this is very, very, very similar to the actual test. In walking around, some of you have some work to do. Some of you have a work to do. Don't forget, interims are going to be pulled. I don't know when they are, but this is, I think, one of our last assessments before interims are pulled. So make sure you guys are ready. All right. Problem numbers 1 and 2. As I had stated yesterday or the other day, I would take at the top of my quiz or test, and I would do this. What's the formula for direct? Y equals AX. What's the formula for inverse? Y equals A over X. And then I would say, okay, so to solve for A, what would you guys have to do? You would have to divide by what? X. So y divided by x equals a. So if you're looking at the table, they have to have a constant ratio to be direct. How would you solve for a here? Multiply by x. If it has a constant product, it's inverse. So I think that might help you if you need to help you remember which one's which. There, you got it. So number 1, they had a constant ratio, so you guys said it was hopefully direct. Number 2, one of the biggest mistakes that I see on number 2 is that right here it wants an equation relating x and y. So once you found a was 16, the equation is y equals 16 over x. That's an equation relating x and y. Don't put any other numbers in for x. It wants an equation relating x and y. Y equals 16 over x. Then plug in -3. Are we good on 1 and 2? Okay, number 3, state the vertical asymptote and the horizontal asymptote. How do we know where those are on number 3? Oh, which way did it shift? Right, 4 and up 3. So my vertex, or my asymptote shifted right 4 and what? Up 3. So what's the equation of my vertical asymptote? Vertical. X equals. Some of you on your quiz did not put x equals. Make sure you have x equals 4. What's the equation of the horizontal? Y equals 3. All right, and then plug it in your calculator to assist you from there. Number 4, how do you find the vertical? How do you find the vertical? Set the denominator. Now, you are not going to be able to just see this in your calculator. If you notice, when you set that equal to 0, what do you get? 1/3. How do you find the horizontal? It's what? Leading coefficient over leading coefficient, or 1 and 1/3. So those are not going to be easily identifiable on your graphing calculator. Make sure you know those rules. Also, when you find the domain and range for number 4, I know there's a lot up here. Notice the equations for the vertical and horizontal asymptote are x equals and y equals. The domain and range are x cannot equal that number and y cannot equal that number. So some of you were putting equals in the wrong places and not equals in the wrong places, so be careful. All right, number 5. Number 5 asks you to rewrite this equation in the form y equals, or how they write it, a over x plus k, or a over x plus whatever, however they wrote it, okay? Here's what you need to do. Divide this by this. And when you do, I always have encouraged you, here's your answer. Don't forget to change your signs. Here's your remainder. So the answer is 5 plus the remainder over your divisor. Now flip-flop it. 7 over x minus 2 plus 5. So how did it translate? It went right 2 and up 5. And I believe on number 5, if that's all I asked you, oh, did it say graph the function? No. Did yours say graph the function or not?
No.
Okay, I took that off. So if I took that off, that means it's what? It's not on the test. You don't have to graph it on the test. Are you? Okay? Are you guys good on number 5? All right, 6. Simplify. When you simplify, what do you guys really do? You factor and you cancel. So notice on number 6, x squared minus 1, difference of squares, denominator, trinomial a is 1. What multiplies to give you negative 5 adds to give you negative 4. I canceled the x plus 1s, but before I cancel, I had to say x can't be 5, x can't be negative 1. Number 7, just like the quiz on number 7, there are 2 answer blanks. Guys, if there's 2 answer blanks, I need what? 2 answers. Okay? So, most of you on yours probably multiplied across because it seems like this year that's what you guys liked to do. What did you get when you multiplied across? I'll do that over here because many of you did that. What did you guys get? 5x to the 5th, y to the 8th. And then when you multiplied across the bottom, you got 25x to the 4th, y to the 2nd. Now, what do you get when you divide there? Well, 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 25. 5 times, hi Jordan. Then those subtract to give you 1. These subtract to give you 6. Make sure the 5's in the denominator. So this is the answer that goes here. 5, or not 5, x, y to the 6th over 5. What do I want down here? What's that reminding you? You have to tell me what can't be 0. And I don't put x can't be because there's 2 things. Both what? X and y can't be 0. So x can't be 0 and y can't be 0. So that's why there's 2 lines on that answer blank. Okay, questions there. Can you guys slide Jordan over an answer key for me? Perfect. Thanks, Jordan. All right, questions on that one. All right, problem number 8 was a multiply. Guys, do we really multiply when we multiply? No. Remember on number 8, you factor. One of the biggest mistakes that students make on number 8, I know this because I grade them, is they tell me this. Look up here for the numerator. Why is that wrong? Oh, okay. Why is that wrong? Yeah, guys, redistribute this. If you redistribute this, what do you get? Negative 5x squared what? What do we need? Plus. So this has to be a what? Minus. So watch that sign. Watch that sign in the numerator. Denominator, a is 1, life is easy. A is 1, life is easy. Now, at this point I identified what x was not allowed to be. Negative 3, a positive 2, and 0. You guys are pretty good about canceling the x plus 3's, canceling the x minus 2's. But now you got to think about if I have negative 5x over positive 10x, what happens to the x's? And what do you have left? Negative 1/2, right? So negative x minus 1 over 2. Now if you happen to distribute that in the numerator and tell me negative x plus 1 over 2, I would most certainly accept that as well. Questions on 8? Okay, problem number 9. When you are dividing, remember, keep, change, flip. Difference of squares, trinomial, trinomial. You cancel like parts. Can I cancel? This happened on the quiz. Can I cancel those? Because they're both on the what? Denominator. Questions on 9. Alright. Number 10, you're adding. Now this is where we start getting into the adding and the solving, and you guys kind of get all your things mixed up. Stop for a minute and say to yourself, okay, when I add fractions, what do I do? Add the numerators, put them over the what? Common denominator. Add the numerators, put it over the common denominators. There's no equal sign in this problem. All right, so I said, okay, I'm going to factor the denominator here. I get x minus 7, x plus 3, so I said this one's missing x plus 3. I distributed to get 2x plus 6, and I combined my numerator. I could not factor and cancel anything. I put it over my denominator. I'm done. X cannot be 7 or negative 3. How'd you guys do on 10? Okay. 11. Denominator was 2 times x minus 1, x minus 1, x minus 3. So this one here was missing x minus 3. This one here was missing a 2. So I worked here with just my numerator. Okay, just my numerator. But I had to remember to put it over my common denominator. So when I did, I FOILed, and I got x squared minus x minus 6, and I just left that on the left. I remembered that I had a minus sign, so whatever I do on the right, I got to remember to distribute that. So I distributed 2, and then the negative. You could have distributed negative 2 and gotten 4x plus 2. It doesn't matter. Now combine like terms. Now, if this happens here, it's going to happen on the test, so be careful. Some of you might have stopped here. But after you add a fraction, what do you always have to ask yourself? Can I simplify? You simplify by factoring the numerator. What multiplies to give me negative 4 adds to give me 3. 4 and negative 1, and then what canceled? Do you think that's going to reduce tomorrow on the test if it reduced on the practice test?
Yeah.
Yeah. Questions on 11. All right, number 12. 12 was a fraction equal to a fraction, cross multiply and solve. How'd you guys do on 12? Any questions on 12? I heard a lot of people say 13 was the hard one. Am I right? Okay, I had a couple people say 13 was hard. So let me work with you. Least common multiple, you need an x, you need an x minus 2. Remember when you solve these, now I have an equation. When you have an equation, the process that I taught you was to multiply each by x and x minus 2. Multiply each term by the common denominator. Now, what cancels here? What cancels here? X. What cancels here? So, what do you have left here? Well, I have 5x. What am I distributing here? Be careful. When you distribute negative 2, what do you guys get? Minus 2x plus 4 over here. I'm going to distribute x. What do you get? X squared plus 3x. Now, are my denominators gone? Yeah, why? Because they all canceled. I have nothing left in the denominator. I have an x squared over here. Well, what's 5x minus 2x?
3x.
This is quadratic. A Okay, so I am going to subtract 3x and subtract 4. When I do, I get 0 equals x squared minus 4. Is that a difference of squares? So it factors into x plus 2, x minus 2. So what are my answers? Negative 2 and, however, back at the beginning, you need to watch, because what is x not allowed to be? 0 or 2. So x can be negative 2, x can't be 2. Good problem. Good problem. Do you think all of that's going to happen tomorrow?
Oh.
You betcha.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here. What's this one missing? X. What's this one missing? X plus 6. What's this one missing? X. Okay, when you do that, what happens to all your denominators?
They go away.
They go away. So what do you have in the numerator? 9x. What do you have in the denominator? X plus 6 plus
2x.
Okay, what's x plus 6 plus 2x?
3x plus 6.
3x plus 6. Now be careful. Can I divide the 9 and the 3?
No.
No. But can I simplify this?
Yeah.
What factors out of the denominator? When you do, what do you have left?
X plus 2.
Now I have a multiplication sign and a multiplication sign. So can I reduce 9 over 3?
Oh, yeah.
What does 9 divided by 3 give me?
30.
So I have 3x on the top, x plus 2 on the bottom.
Yep.
Now, let's go to what x is not allowed to be. Look at your answer. What is x not allowed to be?
0.
Negative 2. Now go back to the original problem, and what is x not allowed to be? 0 and negative 6. Alright. Which ones, other than the ones I just talked about, gave us issues?
All good here.
Y'all good? How do we study for this test? Yeah, guys, this is 80 points. It should be important to you.